Troyazinen. SPRT went nuts after hours. How can you not be excited for it? I know a lot of us are in it. Like, I know not everybody's in it, but like, come on, like that's dude. It almost doubled after hours. Give me a break. It's like 41% after hours. Alright, so I'm gonna go through some things. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm supposed to be in another meeting right now, but kind of got caught off guard with I see Drake, as you know him. I want to make sure he's healthy, so I'm giving him the night off. I'm going to cover for him. So, yeah, I think a lot of us are like, no. GME, AMC, I'm riding this one out. That's what I'm doing too. How'd everyone do today? You guys hear me? Can't hear me. You can't hear me. Should be able to hear me. Let me see. Hello. Hello. It's not illegal. Come on, this is real music. Check. Hello. Why is my mic so soft? Hold on, let me check my connections. Any better? Hello? Hello? I don't know why it's so quiet. Like, I'm looking at this, it should be louder. Let me check my settings if they got reset. Dude, I don't know my mic's going on lately. Alright, I reset my mic. Is that a little better? Hello? Check one other thing. Hello? Oh, hold on. Hello, okay, that should be way better. I see what happened. Yeah, I bet you it's way better now. I bet you I'm like 10 times louder. Somehow my mic source got switched, so okay. Is it a little better now? All right, testing 1 2. It's okay. Something happened when I was talking the other night, and I tried to have my webcam on, and it switched like the way my microphone was coming in, and so yeah, much better. It literally, like, I went to microphone source and I was like, how did this get switched? It should be like 10 times better. Alright. I figured it out. I turned it up to 11. That's what happened. Man, I wonder if I sounded like that all day now. I was thinking back on it. Alright, so I think it was using the webcam mic. I bet you that was exactly what it was. Alright, so big story, SPRT. My goodness, like it's just you could have bought on open and that would have all you would have had done today was just buy on open, watch it go up all day, right? Oh god. Like you could have bought on this dip here, it's 13. It's $13 on open today. And it's like what, $28 right now? 27? End of the day at 27. He could have bought shares and been up 120% today. Sheesh. Alright, so it's respecting the fibs. You know, it hit my price target here between 15 and 16. I called it 15.50 to be safe. Hit that, rejected, came back down. Had this retrace, had the Xenon head and shoulders fake out here that everyone didn't get scared out on. And then we went from there. So we consolidated a little, make this cup, had a handle, retested this breakout. I knew right here it was gone today. Like I was on voice, and I think we were screaming. we're like, ah, look at it go! It's at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Spurt! It was super fun. I had a blast today. I hope everyone else did too. If you weren't in it, at least you're enjoying watching it, because this thing was by far the play of the day. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple others we were watching today. I think some people may have made money on LMT, maybe didn't make money on LMT. You know, it had a good run today. I think we were watching it around 360, and it did end the day at 362, so we had a nice $2 thing. Now, I think it had a bad after hours. I'm not positive on that. No, it's fine after hours. It had this little wick down here, but still going in at 362 tomorrow. Looks really good. You know, the thing is, I was looking at this, and it's got this hard resistance line right here, so I'm worried about that. So, but if it can gap up above this tomorrow, it does have this giant gap over here. So if you swung LMT, that's what I'm looking at over here, is this gap fill line up here. But you have to look at all this volume that's got to get through right here. So, I mean, once it gets above this volume shelf here, kind of in this area, so you're looking for it to get above here, pretty much over 363, then it could start moving up to the 370s again. There's not much stopping it other than this whole resistance area right here. But if we gap up above this tomorrow and we hold that gap, that could be a breakaway gap. And there's also another gap up here. So there's a gap up to 380. So there's multiple gaps it has to fill. Fundamentally, LMT looks really good too. So, I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, I think not a lot of people go into that. I'd like to cover that real quick. You can see price to cash flow a little higher than you're normally seeing, but price to earnings around 15, really healthy. Quick ratios and current ratios, that's good. If you look at the balance sheet, 52 billion to liabilities 45. Book to value is a high. I understand that. So there's arguments to be made both ways with LMT, but you have to understand there's always going to be military weapons, and LMT is always going to be the leader of it. So, you know, their total revenue, $17 billion. They net a quarter, almost $2 billion in profit. A quarter. So, I mean, $7 billion in total profits per year. 100 billion market cap. That's, like you said, a 14 times ratio. That's pretty good. So, I think a lot of us like LMT. Potato, good call. One thing to consider. So I'm just going to go through some other things that we were trading in the server today. Let's see here. What were some of the other traders looking at today? Let's see, what are we looking at? So LMT come out today. Let me pull out. Upwork and View and
Zuo. Oh, Zuo was an interesting one. So Zuo had earnings last night and came out and wicked our breakout line, and then ended the day red. Like, shit, it's crazy. I want to talk about this one specifically because if you look at the daily on this, you know, there's a breakout line here, and it literally touched it in reverse. So it actually formed a double top. So if you would have taken that without actually letting it confirm, you would have lost money. Let's call it what it is. So this thing had a very bearish candle, sold off. I want to keep it on watch though. I think Zuo is one of those stocks that once it gets over 19 bucks, it's gonna get going. So over 1860, I'd like to see it above 19, and this thing can run this gap up to 1970. This is ZUO. What are you doing here, Air Drake? I gave you the night off. Get out of here. Like, why are you here? He's like, I could still watch. So, Zuo was a failed breakout today. At no point did it confirm. It was worth looking at because of the earnings, and it ramped up, but it did not do well. Let's look at View. Let's see what View did. So, one thing to look at View, and this is, I think, why this one didn't work as well today. The volume was just literally like 30% volume today. So, we were looking at it, and it wicked this gap here by a penny. So the gap fill squeeze alert went off on this gap fill wick here, and because it didn't confirm and rejected immediately, this was a bad one as well. So I wanted to cover the ones and why they didn't work so that you can avoid these in the future. So when you see these and they wick the gap fill and then immediately reverse, they never give you that confirmation candle, and then they reverse. So I do think over time View is worth watching just due to the short squeeze potential, and it's really only worth playing with shares because then you have all the time in the world. But until it really breaks this downtrend, you know, I was trying to play that gap fill. It didn't work. That's fine. We played some other things instead that worked out. So Upwork triggered our... Hold on one second. My dog just came down here. What are you doing here, doggy? Go upstairs. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. Go! Go upstairs! Sorry about that. The dog's getting a little bit more ambitious now. So let's talk about Upwork. This was a newsletter play if you weren't aware of. I can actually show you what the newsletter chart looked like so you can see. I love my dog, but it's too much down here. So Upwork, we anticipated this pullback. It didn't quite get to our price target that we had here. It actually hit our first price target. I was thinking to get to our second. But you can see our first price target was hit and then it rejected, coming back down to our gap fill line and our other pivot zone down here. So now that we've seen this develop, we could put a pivot zone down here. And now it bounced off of this, so as long as it can reverse tomorrow, this is exactly what we thought it would do. So I did give it a head pat. Don't worry, Sig. Like, I pet it, gave it some love, it gave me a kiss, and then I told it to skedaddle. Yeah, we have a newsletter, so this is following the trade plan exactly. I'm not going to change this until the end of the week because I like to keep the same chart for reference at the end of the week. So you can see the same pattern was forming. We predicted the price action. Trying to predict the price target is really just a probability. So that's why you have price target zones. So it hit our first price zone, should have taken profit here. It rejected, came and retest, rejected again. So now we're looking for that dip buy, that second move up. So we want to see this curl tomorrow, possibly get above 42.50. Above 42.50, we'll be looking for that reversal confirmation over the pivot and then continuation towards the next price zones. So keep this on watch. This will be a high watch the rest of the week. If it's green tomorrow, RSI, everything looks good. It had that. Here we can actually do a, we can pull this away. We can do a fib retrace. You can see if we zoom in here, bounced perfectly on the 5, so you'll see it bounced off the 50% retracement, so that's a high probability retracement on a wave 2. So one thing that's great about this is you have this huge falling wedge downtrend break. You have the 50% retracement, typical for a wave 2 breakout. So it might come down to 41, just FYI. 41 is also another high probability retracement, which is the 61865, or the 65, the 62% retracement. So, but again, keep this on watch for the rest of the week, and next week this should be a nice play over the upcoming week, especially if more and more COVID news comes out in terms of positive news. That should help people want to get back to work in person, and that's obviously what Upwork does. So alright, let's move on to the next one that I see here. So Root was another one that came out today, and VRPX. These were yesterday. Let's see how they did. So Root came out around 6, went all the way up to 620, got over our breakout, faked out, and is still consolidating. So this is one we're going to want to continue to keep on watch. Very high short interest. If SPRT is the leader this time instead of like GME and everything, you might get some residual squeezes across other tickers, and Root is one that a lot of institutionals like. I know there's a couple big names that are in this already, so we'll have to see how this one does. I think I'd like to see it back over 605 again to give this any interest. Alright, let's look at VRPX. VRPX we alerted at 16. How'd that do today? And you can see these breakout lines that I set on this chart. So this is the green line. Can you see the little alarm? So you can see the alarm. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. So the little alarm shows that I had an alert on it to alert the group. You can see it broke out at 16 here, went all the way up to 19. So we could have played this multiple times. 16 all the way up to 19, all the way back down to 16, and then today all the way up to 22. So we could have played this up to 19, back to the 16, back up to 19, and this will be interesting because it just filled the gap at the end of the day here. Does this continue? It did fill this gap over here, so it doesn't have to continue necessarily, but I would like to keep it on watch. It is very interesting ticker, only an 88 million market cap, very micro cap, but it does have high short interest, a super high cost to borrow, which means shorts have to be very quick to take profits on it if it's not working. When the cost to borrow is high, that means the longer they hold it, the more interest they have to pay. So just keep that in mind. SPRT, we've been in it since 12. I mean, that's the play of the week right there. I can't say anything else. All right, let's look at some of the flow that we got in today. I'm curious to see. So let's go to the beginning of the day. We really didn't get a lot of major flow today. The only two real big ones we got were Crowd and AMD. So looking at Crowd, you can see this came out on market open. Literally like 20 minutes into market open when it was at 270. So this was at 274. It was at, let's see if we can pinpoint exactly when this was bought. So let's go at, get a little arrow here. I have a 274.62, 24 minutes in the market open. So 24 minutes would be like right here. It was bought right about here. So you can see it was bought right here. It's on this candle, but kind of like overlaps, doesn't look good. So it was bought right there, and then it retested the previous day high, held, and ran all the way up to 282. That would have been an extremely powerful level 3 that came out, and that was a next week expiration that it had. Looking at it, it looks like we had 60% true sentiment. I don't know if a lot of people know what the true sentiment score we use is, but it's a proprietary algorithm we use that does different weights. It's different than just straight calls versus puts for the day. It takes into account previous calls and puts, takes into account expirations. It weights them in a manner that makes things that are more aggressive, gives them more weight. So very interesting that we had a 60%. Would have been a high confidence buy for me. But I was already fully booked into SPRT, and I convinced myself that's all I'm going to play this week because that's all I need. So next one that came out was AMD. I'm curious to see. I haven't looked at AMD all day. I did not play this one. It was a single rapid flow. Usually when we get more, they do a little better. I haven't been liking AMD lately, but let's see. This came out at 9 o'clock in the morning my time, so 10 o'clock your time, or whatever, 10 o'clock Eastern. Came out at 108.88. That means people were buying like crazy on Market Open. That came out right here. Went all the way up to 109. So this went up. I think Dan in our server played this and he made 10% on it and took profits. And that's what these are designed to do. Like you can see this came out right here. Exactly right here. And it ran up another 40 cents and then it reversed and it would never have been profitable that day. Yeah, the higher the sentiment score, if it's a put, the sentiment score will reflect that. So the higher the sentiment score, the better. Yes, in simple terms. So with AMD, it worked, but you got to take profits fast. So on the rapid flow calls, those are meant to be scalps, fast day trades, intraday. So keep that in morning. Yeah, if you get a 90%, you should probably take that. Especially on a rapid flow. The rapid flow we had with AMD was 66%, so it was pretty high. So, I mean, people should have taken that, but then, you know, you got to be worried that you don't get trapped. So, alright, let's see if there's any other ones that came out today. We got I had some leaps that came out. The one that interests me the most, and this will be the last one I talk about, and then we can jump into a few questions here for the last couple minutes. Open. I really liked Open today. Like, this came out, I think, minutes before market close. Yeah, like, literally, like, 4 minutes before market close. This came out. So, Open... super interesting alert that came out, in my opinion. It kind of looks like a rounding top, so that's the only thing that worried me, is this rounding top could be an inverse cup. But what excites me is this cup and handle. So if you look at this, you can see it's not a perfect cup and handle. Just keep that in mind. So you can see this cup, and then what you're looking at is this handle right here. I mean, it's not perfect, so keep that in mind. It's not perfect, but it's it's worth watching, in my opinion. And maybe that was a fake out right here. Maybe this is really the channel right here. That makes more sense. So it's worth watching. You can see it came out of the channel, came right back down, was bought on Open. So some big boy was buying on Open. They might have known something. And then at the end of the day, you got massive leap flow. I'm going to look real quick. I'm just going to run a command in my server, see what the flow on Open was end of day, and we'll leave it at that. Oh my goodness. Huh. That was 33 million someone put into those leaps. Oh wow, okay. That's a lot. Okay. Can I put that on the screen? I wonder. Ooh, look at that. I can. That is awesome. Can you guys see that? That's awesome. Oh, nice. So you can see if we can blow this up. $33 million was bought in calls in the last 4 minutes. This should be on your radar tomorrow. This should almost be one of your top watches to see what happens. I know it's a real estate stock. Oh, duh. Dude, someone knew about the real estate. Okay. It's clicking now. Okay. The eviction moratorium was raised today. So that means people can get kicked out of their homes for not paying, which means there's going to be more homes on the market, which means Open can make more money. Okay, it makes it makes so much sense. Dude, people with insider information, when they say there's not insider trading, I call BS. There's so much insider trading. Like, all right, that is worth putting in the trade ideas. That is crazy. Alright, I got time for a few requests here. What are some tickers that you think are going to pop in the next few days that we should look at? AXP leap. What do you guys mean? Like, what is was the AXP leap true? What, like, of course it's true. Someone paid for it. Like, it's just don't make fake leap alerts. Like, yeah. If someone, I mean, hold on. Let me run the. You're saying someone shared an AXP leap. I didn't see it in our server. Let me look. Hold on. Someone bought. Okay, so here, if you. This is cool. Now that I could share flow with you guys, that makes me excited. So if you wanted to see AXP, this was AXP today. This is actually kind of interesting. Why don't we... I'll tell you what. Let's look at that on AXP instead. Alright. I hear you clucking. I know why they did it. Alright, so here's the AXP leap flow. You can see really good ratio, really high confidence there. You can see this was a downtrend break retest. So downtrend break retest bounce. They're thinking it's going to continue from here. That's the idea. So everyone wants more swing ideas. I understand that. It's been really hard to give you swing ideas when the market's near the top. That's one of the reasons we haven't been doing as much. It's more to protect you than to tell you things like anything else. Because for the last like 3 weeks, swings have not been your best friend. So if you want a swing idea, SPRT was your best swing idea of the week. But I can tell you exactly what's going to happen with SPRT. I know why you tell me to look at... Dude, where is all this flow coming from? I am working on making alerts when we get stuff like this, because this is crazy. This is your snap flow that you're wondering about. So you can see here, 10 million and 9 million, 10 to 1 snap. Snap gets crazy flow all the time, and I want to look at that now. Hold on. I had my fractal on this. It's actually not doing so bad. Maybe we were a little off with it. I mean, the price action's pretty similar. So if that fractal is true, you know, you can see similar price action. Obviously, price never is the same. But you got the bounce down, bounce up, bounce down. Might get a couple like this. Maybe we don't get as much price action. So maybe we can do this. Might be a little better. It's just a fractal, remember, so it's just a copy of something that happened before. But looks really good. I think it's worth monitoring. I have this pivot zone up here. Obviously, we retested down here, this breakout. This pivot zone, I think, would be a good entry over 72.80. Maybe early watch at early entry over 71.80. So, I've been experimenting with fractals this year. It's something new to me, so take it with a grain of salt. I've been doing pretty good with them, just FYI. So, but by far not something you should just hard trade off of. It's just, like I said, it's just to show you previous price action. So, alright, I do need to get going, but I hope this was helpful. Hopefully, Hasib will be back, please. We'll be back soon, and we can cover some more stuff. I'll have my Sunday night class, hopefully. I might move it to Monday if I have something that I'm hoping to get home in time for it. Either that or maybe we'll push it back a little later. Either way, I'll let you guys know. Hopefully you all made money today. I'm looking forward to SPRT tomorrow. And you can always hit me up with questions in the Discord if you have any additional questions. Thank you, and have a great day.